We love the spirit of collaboration and working closely with different people in different capacities, you know, beer makers, winemakers. And with the relationship with Tory, I mean, we both were nominated for James Beard Awards, and he won, very well deserved. People have said, yeah, maybe tonight's two of the best chefs in Wisconsin. There's so many great chefs and great people in this state. You know, I'm kind of thinking of it as, you know, getting to hang out with one of our friends and cooking a great dinner tonight.
This is veal pastrami that we made. One of our farms happened to have 2 veal and didn't know what to do with them, so they slaughtered them, we took them, and I typically don't cook with a lot of veal, so I didn't know what else to do with it, so we made pastrami because you can kind of keep that hanging around for a long time, so this is a perfect opportunity to use it. Only the finest brew to steam it, man. Bring it back up to temp. It'll give it that nice Milwaukee hoppiness. You know, Sanford has always been kind of like that legendary, you know, destination restaurant for me, and I still remember the first time I ate here. I still remember everything I ate. It's like one of those places where it's like you just remember, you know, coming here.
So thanks for joining us tonight. This is a very special evening for us to have good friends down from Madison. Just in the spirit of collaboration, we wanted to get together and cook. No real angles other than the fact that we're friends, and this is a good opportunity for us to hang out. So we split the menu up, that we each kind of did 2 savory courses, and then we figured dessert doesn't travel really well, so we made dessert here also. And the dessert's going to go with beer. We'll get to that later. Tory has the first course, so he will kind of fill you in on what you'll be getting momentarily. Thank you guys so much for coming. We're very excited to have you guys.
The first course is some things from this season and some from last season. So we have beets that we roasted and smoked, and those are from last year. We have some apples from last year that are Honeycrisp apples, which organic Honeycrisp, very little, super crunchy and very sweet and delicious, still from last fall. Then we have some Hoop House Sun Gold tomatoes, which are the really orange, sweet tomatoes. Some Hoop House cucumbers, some fresh baked bread that we slice very thinly. It's our honey whole wheat bread, and then we fry it so it's nice and crispy. And then yogurt cheese. So yogurt cheese, we basically just take some plain yogurt from Sugar River Dairy, and we mix it with garlic, a little bit of shallot, salt and pepper, and we hang it for 3 days. And it comes out, it's like fresh Chev or fresh like cream cheese. Nice and spreadable, so that'll be on the bottom of the plate. Dressing the whole thing is a little clover honey and rice wine vinegar. Super simple. I think it's really interesting because like for years, you know, it's like, oh, Sanford is like the L'Etoile of Milwaukee, and you know, L'Etoile is like the Sanford of Madison, and the history of both the places, and you know,
a lot of parallels.
The generational gap between the former chef owners and who we have now. You know, it's like for Justin and I to both take over restaurants in the way that we did.
And our mentors are both going to retire in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's a trip, man.
I'm new here. So for your next course, we are doing a grilled halibut with a braised duck heart and a sweet pea ravioli, a little foie gras brown butter. This dish was kind of inspired by a chef that I used to work for many years back, Stephen Wade. I very vividly remember a dish that he did that was like a potato crusted halibut with a duck sauce. And so I'm making these raviolis the other day, and then this just kept flashing through my head about this combination of duck and halibut.
And it's one of those things where it's like naturally we should collaborate and bring our own energies to each other, you know, and also the food community, I think. I mean, like we sold out without advertising. And
right.
I got tiny fingers, dog. Surgical. I like the brown butter and the squeeze bottle, bro. It's clutch. right, hi. My course is up next again. So we're gonna do a very classic Korean dish. Kimchi soup or a kimchi stew. It's pronounced jjigae. And basically it's like beef broth, homemade kimchi, kind of all cooked together. This one has a little bit of a kick to it. We have some shiitake mushroom, crispy fried rice cake, a little bit of raw egg yolk on top of that. So you are definitely, the first thing you do is just whack that yolk open, get it all mixed in there, and then go at it. This is like the classic part of everything. And then we have some tofu, it's homemade tofu that we marinate. It's pretty spicy too, and nice soft texture. And then finishing the dish is a piece of veal pastrami. So pastrami, obviously not classic, but I love the smoky, spicy, peppery flavor and that meatiness that goes really well in there. And I wanted to change it up a little bit, so we threw that in there. So that's that dish. Chef, you good over there?
Perfect, sir.
You sure you don't want to do eggs?
Can I?
It's just a bad idea.
It's a good idea, making them one at a time.
Hey, I made one when I was thinking about this dish.
Was it delicious?
Yeah, it was super good.
Well, then we'll figure it out.
So it'll lean, it'll move, do what we can. My new system is just to put it on there and not look at it ever again. That way, if it falls off, and I never know. I already went to my happy place. George Webb's. And I really hope that high life is extra cold. When we were planning the menu, I was like, well, I'm gonna make weird food like I always make and throw some random stuff in there. So it's like pretty classic L'Etoile, my L'Etoile, I guess. It sounded like a good idea at the time.
It is a good idea. I've never had the guts to do that. Nice, thank you.
I'm never gonna think about this dish again. Every time I eat this this stew,
You're gonna remember this?
it's gonna ruin jjigae for me forever.
So for our entree tonight, I'm a big fan of elk. Grew up eating venison, so we're very partial to getting it on the menu tonight. We have a maple mascarpone polenta. We have a grilled elk loin, some roasted wild mushrooms, asparagus, a truffle reduction, and a red wine elk reduction.
The smell of this polenta is killer, man. Is it professional if I lick the spoon? No? Probably not. You guys kill it.
How many of you guys still got back there?
That's it. Savory food done.
We have a beer pairing for this course, kind of a collaboration between John Lavelle, who has the beer fridge, and George and Sean, who makes a lot of beer with George. This is their brainchild, and I got to sit in it, which was a very educational experience for me. But they kind of combined their knowledge of beer and everything to create the beer that you guys have for dessert, or will get shortly for dessert. And we kind of crafted a dessert around to match up to this beer. So for dessert, we have a semolina walnut cake, roasted grapes, and a rosemary parmesan ice cream.
You got extra ice cream?
We do.
This is where we make out. the post-dessert makeout session? You guys don't do that here?
Every once in a while, on special occasions. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for joining us tonight for this, I think, a very special night that we've had here.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you
so
guys
much.
for coming out tonight.